Hey guys, how's it going? TechSpecs here, back with another video and with a haircut. Today I'm going to be showing you 30 Apple Watch tips and tricks that you may not have known about, as in my last video in the poll, literally 100% of you said that you wanted to see something like this. This may be another one of my longer videos, but make sure to watch until the end. Why did I do that? As there are many features that you obviously might not have known about and could make your experience with the Apple Watch even better than it already is. So make sure to grab your Apple Watch if you have one, and without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so let's start off with what you can do with the two side buttons on the Apple Watch, as there's more to them than you may think. If you double tap the digital crown, it will take you to the last app that you had open. And this is useful if you've opened multiple apps or you just want to get to the last one that you had open. As you may know, the side button on the Apple Watch opens the dock. By default, the dock just shows the last few apps that you had open. But if you go into the Apple Watch app on your iPhone and into the dock section, you can change it from recents to favorites. From here, you can choose 10 apps that you would like to keep open all the time, as well as customize which order you want them in. And it's really useful if you open the same apps regularly and it keeps them open so they're always ready to go. If you have a card set up in Apple Pay, you can double tap the side button. It will quickly show your primary card and it will be ready to pay instantly, so it's really useful to just double tap the side button and then pay straight away. I find I use this a lot. Surprisingly, the Apple Watch can actually take screenshots of what's on its display, but you have to enable it first in settings. If you go to General and then enable screenshots, you can now take an image of whatever is on your display by pressing the digital crown and the side button at the same time. And these screenshots are then saved to the Photos app on your iPhone. If you hold the side button, there will be three options that will appear. One for powering off your Apple Watch, which may be useful if you just want to turn it off. Another one for showing your medical ID, and then another one for emergency SOS, which is handy if you want to do them things quickly, as in an emergency you might need them. And if you hold the side button and the digital crown at the same time, it will restart your Apple Watch, and this is good if it gets stuck. However, sometimes it's just an app that has got stuck, and you can actually force shut the app. To do this, you have to hold the side button as if you were going to power it off, then hold the digital crown, and then it will close the app that you had open and then got stuck. Then you can go and reopen the app, and most of the time the problem is solved. You may know that if you hold the digital crown, it will toggle SIRI, and you can also use the magic words to toggle her as well. However, on the newer Apple Watches, there is an option called Raise for Siri. This means that whenever you raise your wrist, Siri will start listening for any instructions. Although it's not that reliable, as most of the time Siri just either starts listening when she's not supposed to, or just doesn't listen at all. It does save some hassle by saying the magic words, toggling every single device that you have. Now let's move on to some things that you can do on the home screen and from the watch face. As most of you know, the Apple Watch's home screen is them little bubble things that you swipe around to try and get to any apps. However, there is actually another option that most people don't know. If you press hard on the display whilst on the home screen, then two options will appear, grid view and list view. If you select list view, it will show you all of your apps in alphabetical order, and you can scroll up and down to get to them. As you've probably figured out at some point, you can swipe up from the watch face to show you the control center, and you can swipe down to show you the notification center. But if you're in an app, you can also toggle them. You do this by holding your finger at the top of your display or at the bottom of your display, depending on which one you want, and then you drag down and hey ho, they appear. If you're someone who gets lots of notifications, you may find this one useful. If you press hard whilst in the notification center with all of your notifications, it will come up with an option called Clear All, which means that all of them disappear. Really handy if you get loads of notifications and don't want to keep them there. If you get a call from someone and you don't necessarily want to pick up, but you also don't want to put it down because that's kind of rude, you can just mute the call on the Apple Watch. And you do this by putting your palm on the display whilst it's ringing, and then no sound, no vibration, no anything. Another one of these palm thingies that you can do on the Apple Watch is that if you're in any app, you can put your palm on the home screen and then take it off, and it will take you straight back to the watch face. I love this feature as it makes me feel like Ben 10 for some reason. Much like on iOS, you can also customize the control center on the Apple Watch. If you go to the bottom of the control center, you'll see an edit button, and when you press it, the icons in the control center will start jiggling, and you can of course drag them around to wherever you would like them to be, and of course by pressing done they'll just stay where they are. If your Apple Watch is low on battery and you won't be able to access a charger anytime soon, then you can enable something called power reserve. If you press the battery percentage in the control center, you will find a slider, and when you slide this, it basically puts your Apple Watch into a low power consumption state where it will last for around 3 days, I think. However, the downside to this is that it just shows the time in a nice green color. No activity rings, no notifications, no anything, just literally the time. I probably only use it in an emergency situation where I would actually need the battery. Did you know that you can connect Bluetooth headphones and other Bluetooth devices to your Apple Watch? If you press the AirPlay icon in the control center, you can add a Bluetooth device to stream audio to, like headphones or even speakers, and you can all do this directly from the watch, like without an iPhone or anything. And going back to the battery section in the control center, if you have any of these Bluetooth audio devices connected, you can also see their battery there as well. If you have an Apple Watch Series 2 or newer, there is a little droplet icon in the control center. When you press it, the Apple Watch will turn off all touch input from its display, which is useful if you're going to go underwater, because the water touching the screen will make it just go mental. To get out of this mode, ideally when the watch is out of the water, you can turn the digital crown to make the speakers fire a really low pitched sound which gets out all the water that was in there. You may also be wondering why there's a flashlight icon in the control center for your Apple Watch, as there isn't really one anywhere on it. Well, because it has a really bright screen, the icon makes the watch go to full brightness, and if you position the watch away from you, it will make it even brighter than it already is. Not only this, but if you swipe along when the flashlight mode is on, you can also have the light turn on and off repeatedly, and even have a red light, which I guess is cool. Another cool and maybe even annoying feature that the Apple Watch has is the ability to ping your iPhone. In the control center, if you press the obvious iPhone with the lines around it icon, then your phone will make a really loud noise if, of course, it's within range. Not only this, but if you long press the icon, your iPhone will not only make a noise, but it will also make the flashlight turn on and off repeatedly, so you can both hear it and see it. You may also wonder what this mask icon is. Well, it's called cinema mode. But Mr. Specs, what does it do? Turn your Apple Watch into a Netflix theater? Well, not quite. Back in the days when you could actually go to a cinema, you used to use this feature, which essentially turns on silent mode and makes your Apple Watch's screen not turn on when you move your wrist, instead waiting for you to tap it or press one of the buttons. This feature, however, is also useful elsewhere. Say it's dark and you don't want everyone to be blinded when you go and check the time, or if you sleep with your Apple Watch and you don't want it to wake you up by turning on. If you have an Apple Watch that doesn't have cellular capabilities, don't worry. If you go into the settings app on the watch and then go to the Wi-Fi section, you can connect your Apple Watch directly to a Wi-Fi network, and you will have to, of course, scribble in the password, but from there, you're good to go. You can even connect to other people's personal hotspots as well, which I guess is really cool if you want to leech off of your friend's data. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is such a cool feature is because it means that you don't have to have your phone with you if you go to someone's house and you already are connected to their Wi-Fi, because your watch will be connected to their Wi-Fi, and you can still send iMessages, still use FaceTime audio, still use Maps and any other apps that are optimized for use away from the iPhone. So a really cool thing is literally no one ever tells you that even without the cellular option, you can still use your watch without your iPhone. If you have something that's going on in the background of your watch, say a workout or music is playing, or you have a Maps app open in the background, there's always a little icon at the top of your watch face. Well, if you press these icons, it will open the associated app that's doing the thing. When music is playing on your iPhone, you can control the music that's playing. There is, of course, play, pause, skip, rewind. You can scroll with the digital crown to raise or lower the volume. And there are also other icons at the bottom, which one is for AirPlay, so that you can control what your iPhone or even your watch can connect to. The next one shows you the tracks and lets you shuffle them or replay them. And the final one is an options button which lets you like heart or delete or show the album of whatever song is playing. If you receive a message or an email with a link to it, you can actually open that with the Apple Watch in a mini Safari browser, even though there's no Safari app on the Apple Watch. Although the websites come out pretty small, you can still scroll through them and click on stuff in there, and it's really good if you actually have the 44mm screen like I do. It's like having a teeny weeny iPhone, which is kind of cool. When using the Scribble feature, if you scroll with the digital crown when writing a word, it will come up with options for word that you could use, almost like the predictive text on the iPhone keyboard. I find it really useful for writing longer words easily, so make sure to try it when you scribble a message. If you have an Apple Watch, you may have noticed there's a camera app on it, and you may be thinking, there's no camera on the Apple Watch. What? It is in fact a remote for the iPhone's camera, which is useful if you want to stand your phone somewhere and then take a photo or start a video without having to rely on a timer or actually be there yourself. I use it when I'm filming videos right now because I don't want to keep getting up and toggling the shutter thing. Actually kind of cool, not gonna lie. If you are left-handed or you just generally prefer wearing your watch on your right arm, there's actually a way to change the orientation of your Apple Watch. And this basically means that you can use the Apple Watch upside down, but it still works like it normally would. I know many people who do this because either they find it easier, they're left-handed, or they just don't like the crown toggling every time they move their wrist like this. If you're someone like me who's kind of lazy and doesn't want to enter the passcode to the Apple Watch every single time they put it on, then there's actually a way to avoid doing this while still unlocking your Apple Watch. In the Apple Watch app on the iPhone, if you go to passcode and then turn on unlock with iPhone, then whenever you put on your watch, you can just go and unlock your iPhone with Face ID or Touch ID, and it will just go and automatically unlock your Apple Watch. And finally, you can use your Apple Watch to unlock and authenticate stuff on your macOS devices. If you go to System Preferences, then Security and Privacy, and then tick Use Apple Watch to unlock apps and your Mac. This will mean that now instead of entering the password to your Mac every single time you want to unlock it, you can just press a key and then your Apple Watch will do all the work for you. Not only this, but you can also use the Apple Watch to authenticate purchases online with Apple Pay or in the App Store, as well as fill in passwords with iCloud Keychain as well, which is kind of cool too. And that brings us to the end. Thank you for watching the video. I know it was kind of a long one again, but hopefully you learned something new. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, as I would really appreciate it. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date with my videos. There are more of them coming soon. This is Day6 here, and I'll see you next time. Peace.